Welcome to Strong and Steady, where we talk about building strength, supporting your health, and choosing sustainable wellness for women in every season of life.
And I'm Brittany. I'm here with my co-host, Jessica. She's a mom of 4 littles with such a grounded, realistic approach to balance for low-tox living. She helps busy moms build healthy habits that actually work in real life without perfection or overwhelm.
And I'm Jessica, here with Brittany, a woman's health and fitness coach who specializes in elite aging. She helps women build strong bones and muscles so they can live their whole lives to the fullest with confidence, strength, and independence.
And together, we have over 2 decades specializing in the health and fitness industry. So whether you're in the thick of young motherhood
or focused on staying strong for the long run,
we are so glad you're here.
Hey y'all, it's Brittany. Welcome to the Strong and Steady podcast. And I am so glad that you are here today. So today we are going to be talking about something very near and dear to my heart. And that is mom brain. Y'all, I don't know about you, but it's rough. And, we joke about being a mom bee and how rough that is, where you're like, you don't know what year it is. And, and then you're like, how old am I? How old are my kids? And when was the last time that I showered? All of the things. And it's rough, especially, let's say, like if you're a working mom and you need your brain to function. And even if you are a stay-at-home mom, like I joke with my husband, I'm like, do you know how much that you need to pay me to be a stay-at-home mom? Because how much it costs for a cook, how much it costs for a maid, how much it costs for a babysitter. Like y'all, they are making bank and I do it for free, obviously lovingly, but y'all, sometimes it's rough. So anyway, so let's talk about mom brain, because the thing is though, is that yes, it may be common, but it does not have to be normal. And I also don't want you to feel shame around if you're like, man, I have mom brain a lot, because y'all, I'm with you. There may be days that it's like, no matter what you do, it's a Monday or it's a Tuesday. It's a bad added Tuesday is what some of my clients and I used to say. And it's so important to know how to fuel ourselves properly so we can be there like physically, but also cognitively. Y'all, women have decision fatigue. Like we are making over 3,000 decisions a day. That's us women, okay? And so it's like we have decision fatigue, we are sleep deprived, we have a million and one things going on, and it is just hard to completely focus. And I know for me, I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just hone in and focus, that I would actually be able to get a lot more things done. And then if I get more things done, then I can have more time to spend with my children and being present. And so that is what we're going to talk about today, is about how to fuel yourself with supplements and with food, with sleep, with all of the things, and how to do that properly and to do it honestly very inexpensive, because so many people are going to be selling you like these super expensive supplements. But the thing is that you cannot out supplement a bad diet. But then also the other side of the coin is that we do need supplements to help us, because we have soil depletion, we have stress, we have sleep deprivation, we have all of these things fighting against us. And so we want to help you pick and choose what you personally need, because I will say this, as a nutrition coach, what works for some people will not work for all people. It is very, like, God created our bodies so unique that we do have to change some things. Like my sister and I, yes, we may have similar DNA. We came from the same 2 parents, and but we're very different. We have different body types, and to where she thrives more off, she's an ectomorph, so she's very skinny. She has a hard time packing on muscle and everything. And And so she does very well with carbs, but then she needs more carbs, a little less fat, and then more protein. But then for me, I'm a mesomorph. And so that means that I can actually pack on lean muscle pretty easily, but I can also gain fat a lot easier than she can. I cannot eat a box of donuts and not have consequences afterwards. And so I need more protein, a little more fat, and then less carbs. And so you have to look at your different biological age and all that stuff, and not just the age, but like your body type and everything. And then also like her husband, my sister's husband, he is an endomorph, which is where they actually pack on muscle extremely fast and extremely easily. But they also gain fat very easily. And so he needs like very little carbs, a lot of protein, and a lot of fat. So just so you know, whatever is working for that influencer on Instagram may not work for you. And that is totally okay. Nothing is wrong with you. You're not broken. We just need to find what works best for you. Okay. So now back on the mom brain. Okay. So what you want to do first thing in the morning, I know I'm going to be hated a little bit for this, but do not start your day off with coffee, okay? Because your brain is made up of water and we need water. So much brain fog is actually really legit from dehydration. And even like being dehydrated just a little bit can actually affect your brain and your performance by about 70%. Okay, so we're talking the gym. So if you're like, man, I really want to go to the gym, but I am just not feeling it. Well, it could just be the fact that you are dehydrated. And so you want to make sure that you are starting your day off with water and electrolytes. So one thing that you can do is have your filtered water, and you can put Celtic sea salt. You can also put lemon in it, and that is all very good. I personally start my day off with Hydrate, which has all 5 electrolytes in it, no sugars. And I have to say, I can tell a huge difference in my brain. And when I used to start my day off with coffee, and coffee actually dehydrates you, and it's not that it's bad. It's very full of antioxidants. It's good. It is clean when you're not having it full of Starbucks, basically. And yes, it can be full of mold. So you do have to be careful what type of coffee that you do get. But the thing is that you need to start your day off with water. Y'all, water is living. I think of Jesus, how he says that he's a living water. And that's exactly why, because we need water to live, and we need it to start our day off. You think about this, when we have, I don't want to say a crappy day, but you can tell when you have not started your day off, like, or I can at least, when I haven't started my day off, like getting in the Word, reading my Bible. And it's the same with what we're putting in our body. So starting your day off with water and electrolytes is huge. That is going to make such a huge difference. And then have breakfast, y'all. Y'all, this is important. And I know that it's like, oh my gosh, I'm running out the door. Well, here's the thing, is that a failure to plan is a plan to fail. And I know it is chaotic. Jessica, she has 4 kids. I have 1 kid, and she is running me ragged. I swear my house will never be clean ever again. And so, but the thing is that starting your day off with breakfast, and we're not just talking about grab a bagel with some cream cheese. Sorry, but there is barely any protein. Cheese, yes, has some protein, but it is mainly a fat. And that is good. You need fat for your brain. But you want to have a high protein breakfast. So you are aiming for about 30 to 40 grams of protein. And if you're not an egg person, I totally get that. When I was pregnant with Brooke, I could not eat eggs to save my life. I was like, nope, not doing it. Like, I had them when I first found out that I was pregnant with her, because that's what I had to have when we were in Romania at camp. And that was my breakfast, was eggs. And then once I got home, I was like, okay, we're done. I'm not doing that. And so I found other alternatives. And I have to say, just because it's a breakfast food doesn't mean you have to have breakfast food, okay? Y'all, I was in the mood for chicken nuggets the other day, so I made chicken strips with some flaxseed and some almond flour, coated it in that, and then also you can add some Parmesan cheese to add that extra protein. So you can't, like, you don't have to have breakfast food. It's so freeing to know you don't have to have waffles and pancakes and all that stuff. And so I live in Texas, and one of our favorite things though is breakfast tacos, y'all. When I was growing up, people were like, "Oh, those are so unhealthy and everything." But to be honest, they're really not that bad. Now, granted, get the corn tortillas. That is a much better, healthier alternative. And then make sure that you're getting the eggs and the bacon. And if you do live in Texas and you go to a Mexican food restaurant for breakfast, y'all, bacon, eggs, bean, and avocado on homemade corn tortillas will be your best friend for breakfast. It has your healthy fats in the avocado, and it has your fiber in the legumes or the beans, and it has your protein, and also fat with the eggs and the bacon, and the homemade corn tortilla just like takes it to the next level. So there's a little pointer for you. But figure out what you can have for breakfast. Like, having a protein breakfast is so important for your brain. Your brain needs protein. And yes, it needs carbs too. So don't worry about doing a zero carb or a low carb diet. Because your brain does need carbs. You need that energy. You just need the right type of carbs. And so when you're having processed carbs, then yes, you are going to have that sugar crash, and then you're going to have that brain fog. Also, the thing is that brain fog is part of inflammation. And so, so you do want to make sure that you are having a low inflammatory diet. And so one of my favorite, low inflammatory guideline diet, I guess you could say, would be like a Mediterranean diet. That one is one of the healthiest diets for your brain. Now, not everyone will necessarily thrive off of it, but you do want to up your healthy fats. And we need to get out of this 80s mindset of fat makes you fat. It does not. Yes, excess calories can make you fat. And if you look at it, fat is 9 calories per gram. And then you have protein and carbs, which is 4 calories per gram. So yes, it's more nutrient calorie expensive, I guess you could say. But we as women have been under eating fat, and it is doing us a disservice. And to be honest, we have had this epidemic of Alzheimer's and dementia. And the problem is, I truly believe that the problem is that we have been under eating are good, healthy fats. We are eating seed oils more than ever, which are very, very bad for your cardiovascular health. And then we have been eating Crisco and switching from butter to Crisco or to margarine, which is actually like, it's plastic, guys. It's one molecule away from plastic. So seriously, have the normal butter. It is fine. It's not going to make you fat as long as you don't eat the whole stick in one day. You'll be fine. And this is going to be so important for your brain. Okay, another aspect that you can do to help with your mom brain is the type of exercises that you do. So they have actually seen, studies have shown that doing literally 6 minutes of not necessarily cardio, but HIIT exercise. So high intensity interval training. So think like 45 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or 15 seconds off, doing 30 seconds on, 10 seconds off, or even 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. And doing that for 6 minutes of like squats. Squats are super important. You could do sprints. You could do rowing or biking where you are doing full effort and then you are resting. Okay. This helps your brain, like literally it helps your brain develop even more, but it's also an anti-aging aspect. Now, you definitely do not want to overdo that to where you are releasing too much cortisol, where, if you already have extremely high cortisol, I would say do high intensity probably about 2 to 3 days a week. And do it after your weight session. So you want to make sure that you are lifting weights. Another thing about mom brain though, is that, or I guess you could say the brain aspect, is that the stronger of legs that you have, literally the more cognitive, like your cognitive state is better. I don't know if that makes sense. But basically, if you are wanting to slow down your aging and you want to have your brain for as long as possible, then start strengthening your legs. Your legs are one of the biggest muscles and you need good, strong legs. And this doctor that I used to go to the gym with, he's like, your legs take you from point A to point B until the day you die. So do not skip leg day. And if you have a husband who goes to Gold's Gym or a boyfriend who goes to Gold's Gym and all they want to do is work their back and their tries and their chest and everything, well, they need to stop skipping leg day or they might have some cognitive issues later on. So make sure that you are doing those high intensity interval training, doing squats, doing push-ups, doing jumping jacks. Those are all very good. Even jump rope. I love jump rope. And if you haven't jump roped since you were a kid, I feel you. Oh my goodness. I remember when I had first started working out and I was like, I hadn't jump roped in forever. Like I did double dutch and stuff as a kid and then I just lost it. And they say like, oh, it's like riding a bike. Well, not quite. It took me a little bit longer than remembering how to ride my bike. And I just went and practiced and practiced and practiced. And it's so good for you. It's good for your cardio. So if you really hate running, it's okay to do the jump rope. And it's good for that hand-eye coordination. Jumping is good I know this sounds crazy, but jumping is good for your joints because it's telling your body to create more bone density because when you're pounding and stuff, then it's literally signaling to your body, oh, I need to build more bone density. I need to build this. And so when your doctors are saying, don't do squats, don't jump, y'all, they're wrong. So not to be like straightforward or anything, but you need to do squats. You just need to do them properly. And then also they build up the muscles around your knees, which is very important. So that way you can get on and off the ground when you are in your 60s and your 70s and you want to play with your grandkids. And then another way that you can jump if you are, let's say that you are older and you're like, man, I have screwed my knees up drastically and I cannot jump because it hurts. A rebounder or basically a mini trampoline, that is one of the best things that you can do. And you do not have to jump super hard, doing crazy kicks or trying to reach the ceiling. No, you're literally just bouncing. Just a very simple, steady bounce is honestly amazing for that. So that's another way that you can do sprints. Like, let's say that you just jump for 45 seconds and then you rest a little bit. That is really, really good for your brain. And I know when you are sleep deprived, you're like, I do not want to work out. I am tired. I am cranky. But as Elle Wood says, exercise releases endorphins. Endorphins make you happy. And happy people just don't shoot their husbands. And so I tell my husband this pretty much every day. He's like, do you really have to work out? I'm like, yes. Yes, I do. Because I need those endorphins. And again, your endorphins and your brain, y'all, it's so easy as women to get caught up in ourselves and our brain. And nothing is better than getting outside, getting a workout in. You are going to feel so much better. Another thing for your brain, okay, is literally, y'all, get outside. Okay. The sunlight helps so much. So first thing in the morning when you are drinking your your electrolyte lemon water. You are standing outside for literally 5 to 10 minutes, okay? And you are watching the sunrise. Take your sunglasses off, go barefoot into the grass or into the concrete, and watch. Like, you don't have to watch the sunrise, but you need that light to signal into your eyes to help you wake up and to help you have a sharper brain, okay? There's also some supplements that you can take. Is creatine. Creatine is not just for the gym bros. Y'all, it has been like the most researched supplement is creatine monohydrate, and it helps with brain function. Yes, so if you are a mom who is sleep deprived, you can literally take 5 to 10 grams of creatine, and if you want some more on like how to take it and which one I personally take, you can check it out in the show notes, and we will send you how to personally take it, because there are some certain ways, like you do not want to take it on an empty stomach. And you don't even have to take it on just the days that you work out. Y'all, if your baby has been up, oh my goodness, then take the creatine. You can mix it in yogurt. You can mix it in your drinks. Just make sure that you don't have it on an empty stomach. Make sure that it's completely mixed, that there's not those little bubbly things. And then also start with a low dose, because it can make you feel a little bloated and everything. So there are just some different ways that you can build up to it, so that way you can feel your best on it and get the best results from it. Also, another thing with mom brain is that it's not just a caffeine deficiency. Like, I know that you're thinking, like, if you have my baby and she likes to wake up a few times in the night for a little snacky snack, or if she's having growing pains and you're like, oh my gosh, kid, or if she's just ready to party at 5 a.m. and you're like, oh my gosh, we have to get up for work in 2 hours, like, go back to sleep. Y'all, I'm sorry to say this, but it's not a caffeine deficiency. We have to get to the root of the problem. And a lot of that is actually blood sugar balance, gut health. Are you drinking enough water? Are you having the correct type of water? And there's like, are you getting out in sunlight? And then also though, are we sleeping? Are we prioritizing our sleep, or are we on the scroll hole way too late at night, signaling to our brains that, hey, it's shiny, it's light, like we can be awake. And so that's the first thing. That's one of the first things that I would say is look at your sleep. And I understand, y'all, I can't control my child. I literally cannot control her waking up. Like, I can do what I can of like feeding her a bunch of food during the day so she doesn't get up hungry. But at the same time, when you have a breastfed baby, they want to wake up and get a little snack, get the comfort, cuddle, all the things. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't do this. And yes, there are some times, but then there's sometimes that you're like, oh my gosh, I'm dealing with hormone issues. I'm waking up with hot flashes. It's hard to get a good night's sleep. But we also have to look at our stress levels. So am I looking at blue light for too late and too long? Like, they say you're not supposed to necessarily look at that like 3 hours before bedtime. And you're not supposed to do any work an hour before bedtime. And I am not perfect at this, because when you have a small child that is going 24/7 all day long, 100%, and then sometimes that's the only time that you have to work. Sometimes it's the only time that you get to do something or reply to those emails or reply to those text messages. And I get that. One thing that has personally helped me, and I'm not saying that this is the end all be all, that it just completely erases what we have been doing with the blue light, but doing vagus nerve exercises before bed. There are some very simple ones. If you find us on Instagram, we have a video on how to do a vagus nerve exercise. And then also like breathing, that helps stimulate the vagus nerve. Humming, singing helps stimulate the vagus nerve. Literally humming for 10 seconds can help stimulate your vagus nerve. And that helps you sleep more soundly and more deeply. And so those are just some things that I personally would suggest to help with your mom brain. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, what I would say is choose one thing. Think about what is the most important thing. And to be honest, what I would say is start with your morning. Like, start with drinking water, electrolytes first thing in the morning. Make sure that it is not full of sugar. Sorry, please do not be drinking Gatorade or Powerade. They're full of sugar, and the zero ones are full of sucralose, which is actually really bad for your gut microbiome, but that's a whole other episode, guys. And so you want to make sure that it's like Celtic sea salt or Baja salt or a good, clean electrolyte drink. Even coconut water is a good one. There are some adrenal cocktails which are good, but you do have to be careful because they do have like certain juices which are higher in sugar, and so you don't necessarily want to start that first thing in the morning. But so you want to make sure that you're drinking water. The next thing that I would say is look at your sleep. Are you prioritizing your sleep? And I understand that like our kids wake us up in the middle of the night and we can't control that. But what can you do to get a better quality of sleep? And that's, avoiding the scroll hole, setting times, and even getting your accountability partner. Like my husband and I, we hold each other accountable, and sometimes we don't, I will admit. But we're like, what are you looking at? Are you on the scroll hole again? Get off the scroll hole. It's time for bed. Get that blue light down and out. Turn your phone on sleep mode. Turn it on airplane mode. And if they're an emergency and everything, just have them under your favorites and they will call and it will go through. But make sure that you are turning that off and that you are literally relaxing. Like you are having a certain bedtime routine so that way you can relax. And if you can, get to bed earlier, or if you need to, say no to some things so that way you can actually sleep in. And I know that those are easy to say per se, and I know that they're not easy to do because I am with you. I am in the same boat of not being perfect, but it's being intentional. And progress isn't about perfection, but it's that slight edge on the way up. So again, what I would say first thing, look at your morning. What are you drinking first thing? And then also like your breakfast. What are you eating for breakfast? How can you get more protein and better quality carbs? And plan it out and really, and also get your family a part of it. Because the thing is that just as easy as it is to teach them bad habits, yes, it's not easy to teach them the good habits, but they're going to thank you later. Y'all, my mom, she taught me a lot of good things about health, and it did not come because we were perfect, but the sad thing is that she had to get so sick that we had to learn all this health stuff. But I have to say, I am so thankful for that. And so you are leaving a legacy. What legacy do you want to leave? One where it's like, oh, we're just living off of boxed food and sugar and refined carbs, and we're not getting sleep and we're cranking, we're flying off the handle all the time. Or do you want them to know like, hey, I want to prioritize our health because I love you and I care for you, and this is what we're doing. And it may be hard at first, but guess what? The kids will learn and they will thank you later. And so those are just some pointers that I would say. And don't forget to exercise. I know you may not feel like it, but you will feel so much better after. And I'm not saying you have to do an hour-long workout. Y'all, I had time for a less than a 30-minute workout today. But I got my child and I outside. We went for a walk. We got the sunlight in our eyes. And that also is important as far as the sunlight goes, is to make sure that you don't have sunglasses for that time. I'm not saying don't ever wear them because I understand the Texas sun is freaking hot and bright. But then, making sure that you're barefoot, that you are connecting with the earth, and that actually helps your circadian rhythm. So those are just some things, and I would love to hear your main takeaways and what you are going to be practicing and what you are going to be starting. And you can connect with us on Instagram, and we would love to hear from you at the Strong and Steady Podcast Instagram. And we will have those things in the show notes for you. And if this resonated with you and this helped you, we would love to hear from you, whether that's on Instagram or please leave us a review. And if you subscribe, that helps this show get out more. And I would love for you to share this with another mom, because Lord knows us moms need our community and we need some extra help sometimes, maybe most of the time. But anyway, thank y'all so much for joining in, and I will see y'all next time.
Dear God, I thank you for all the ladies who are listening to this episode, and I pray that you would be with each of them, especially those who are fresh into motherhood and mom brain, or whether they've been going through it for years and years now. I pray that you would just touch each of them and help each of them through this time, as I know it can be hard and it can be frustrating. But I pray that you would just give them the peace and give them the guidance as they are learning new things and new ways to take care of themselves and their bodies, and to just help fight against mom brain. And I pray that they would remember that no matter where they are and what they're going through, that they can always turn to you and ask you for help and guidance. We love you, God. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Thanks so much for hanging out with us today. If this episode resonated with you, we'd love for you to come hang out with us over on Instagram. You can find us at The Strong and Steady. And if you enjoyed today's conversation, be sure to subscribe and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time on Strong and Steady.